Welcome back to our news. Tonight top story, the fight against climate change. We are focusing on two crucial elements, reducing carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy. Now that the National Discussion Forum has been done, I will show you the solution that they had concluded on the forum in facing carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy. First is the setting ambitious renewable energy targets, which we are targeting 95% of renewable energy by 2023. Aligning with Indonesia government aim, we will utilize abundant renewable resources, which the geothermal in Indonesia has the largest geothermal reserve in the world. With a potential capacity of 23.7 GW, the government aims to reach a capacity of 7.24 GW of geothermal power by 2025. We will obligate for every business on its supply chain transparency that requires companies to disclose detailed information on their energy consumption and emissions, and to monitor compliance with renewable energy and emissions reduction targets. By this 3 points, it is concluded that we all aim to establish a comprehensive pathway for reducing carbon emissions and increasing renewable energy adoption. Distinguished delegates, esteemed guests, and everyone that joining us today, welcome to the National Discussion Forum on Reducing Carbon Emission and Investing in Renewable Energy. Climate change is the defining challenges of our generation, and today we gather to discuss concrete solutions. Now, we will be introducing the esteemed panelists representing different stakeholder groups such as government, NGOs, corporate, and also expert. Now, all of the esteemed panelists can start off giving warm greetings one by one.
Hello everyone, thank you for gathering here today. I, Renawai Pratisha Kamala, as government representative, want to discuss one of the most critical issues of our time, climate change. As we all know, climate change poses significant threat to our ecosystem, economies, and societies. The urgency of addressing this issue cannot be overstated, and it requires our immediate and collective action. Climate change is not a distant threat, it is a present reality. We are already witnessing its devastating impacts across the globe, including here in Indonesia. The changes threaten our agriculture, water resources, and biodiversity, and they have severe implications for our economy and the livelihood of our people. Time to act as now. By leveraging our renewable energy resources and working together, we can mitigate the impacts of climate change and build a sustainable future for Indonesia. Thank you.
Greeting everyone, my name is Abita Aristawidia as the representative of Pertamina, or corporate. Thank you for giving me the opportunity to speak about the issue that we will discuss in this forum about climate change. I believe we recognize that climate change has a negative impact on Indonesia. Climate change has a major impact on society, such as water quality, habitat, forests, health, and agriculture. Pertamina has committed to achieve net zero emission in Indonesia by 2060. To achieve this aspiration, Pertamina has developed a number of strategies that are implemented through two main pillars and three enablers. The two main pillars include decarbonizing business activities and developing new green business, while the three enablers that will support Pertamina's plan to drive net zero emissions. Thank you.
Thank you for this opportunity. We are from Greenpeace as a representative of NGOs. We noticed that the technology sector is growing fast and the industry's electricity consumption continues to rise. Electricity use from the global tech sector is projected to grow by more than 60% between 2020 and 2030. Because the sector relies heavily on fossil fuels, rising electricity consumption has been accompanied by an increase in carbon emissions. Greenpeace itself has created a program along with massive development of renewable energy happening by 2050. The global energy system is 95% powered by renewable energy. The program is called the Energy Revolution. By this, we hope to solve, contribute, and collaborate with other institutions to solve this climate change issue as a pressing matter. Thank you.
Greetings, honorable delegates and other distinguished guests in this meeting. We, the experts in climate change studies, would like to thank you for the opportunity to be able to speak directly to you in this very important meeting on climate change. I would first like to address the pressing issue that is climate change that has negatively impacted the environment and in turn the people of Indonesia. The list of damages caused by climate change is ongoing, and data shows that it will continue to grow if we don't start finding an immediate solution to this problem now. In our opinion, Indonesia's vast lands and rich resources are filled with many potentials to create one of the biggest renewable energy resources in the world. We hope from this meeting we are able to find a plan that can minimize climate change for good. Thank you.
Now that all the esteemed actors has brought up their wonderful speech, we may now moving forward on the questions that public has been asking. First thing first, is there any policies that government does have in facing carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy?
Yes, as the representative of the Indonesian government, I will outline our current policies. Indonesia is committed to the Paris Agreement, aiming to limit global warming to well below 2 degrees Celsius and pursuing efforts to limit it to 1.5 degrees Celsius. Our nationally determined contributions, or NDCs, reflect our commitment to reduce greenhouse gas emissions by 29% under a business-as-usual scenario and by 41% with international assistance by 2030. However, our current targets are rated as critically insufficient by the Climate Action Tracker, indicating that more ambitious targets and policies are needed. We have set a target to achieve 22% of our energy from renewable sources by 2025. However, due to slow progress, we have revised this target to between 70% and 90% by 2025 with a long-term goal of 31% by 2050. To accelerate this implementation of rooftop solar power plants, we have issued new regulation to improve efficiency, transparency, and public interest in solar power installations. Our target is to install 1 gigawatt of rooftop solar power plants linked to the PLN network and 0.5 gigawatt of non-PLN ones annually.
Thank you, government, for answering delicate questions. Now, transiting on the next question, is there any actions that has been brought up in facing the carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy?
Our commitment to sustainability aligns with the global movement that prioritizes the integration of environmental, social, and governance issues to business strategies and the objective of sustainable development. Pertamina has contributed to tackle the impact of climate change. In 2021, Pertamina reduced greenhouse gas emissions by 7.4 million metric tons of CO2, or 29.09% compared to the 2010 baseline. By December 2023, Pertamina had successfully decarbonized 1.13 million tons of CO2e, surpassing the 910,000 tons CO2e target. Thank you.
Yes, so the government, we are enhancing support for businesses transitioning to low carbon operations. This includes grants for energy efficient equipment and green financing schemes. Additionally, we have introduced a carbon pricing policy, which includes a carbon cap and trade system and a carbon tax scheme to incentivize industries to reduce emissions and adopt renewable energy sources. Collaboration with international partners is crucial for technology transfer and financial support. We are working with organizations like the International Energy Agency and the US Trade and Development Agency to develop strategies and secure funding for renewable energy projects. Notably, we have launched the Indonesia Carbon Exchange to support the expansion of our emission trading system.
Now that there are so many actions that has been concluded, what is the solution occur from these actions?
As a global energy company, we prioritize environmental, social, and governance considerations in our corporate strategy as part of our commitment to sustainability. To tackle climate change, Pertamina proposes to reduce greenhouse gas emissions. First, greenhouse gas emissions load calculation. We recognize that learning more about the types and amounts of emissions we produce will help us to figure out how to cut it back. We therefore divide our emissions measurement into 3 scopes. And the second one is greenhouse gas reduction. We were able to reduce overall emission in 2021 by 6.66% from the emission baseline for 2020 due to emission reduction efforts. Thank you.
As for NGOs, Greenpeace intends to create an ambitious energy efficiency program along with a massive development of renewable energy that happens by 2050. And that is called the energy revolution, which is a fundamental change in the way the world produces, distributes, and uses energy to cut carbon dioxide emissions. Now I will explain the three key aspects of the energy revolution. The first is renewable energy. We need to change how our energy is produced from fossil fuels such as coal to renewable energy. It includes wind, biomass, photovoltaics, solar thermal, geothermal, ocean, and hydroelectric power. Secondly, we have decentralized energy. We need to change how energy is distributed from centralized grids to decentralized, smart, and flexible grids with over 90% renewables and guarantee a security of supply 24 hours a day. And then thirdly, we have energy efficiency, which we need to change how we use energy and reduce energy wastage by shifting to energy efficient technology that improve designs of buildings and home that lessen energy costs to consumer. And the results of these three aspects point if the government apply the program, firstly, it becomes possible to reduce carbon dioxide emissions to stop dangerous climate change. It also gives access to electricity to the local communities. Secondly, is to create jobs. The program is also creating a green jobs revolution in the global power, and this has already been proven in the Philippines with the WEN Developers Association of Philippines, or WEDA. They are confident that their subsector could add not only clean generating capacity, but adds 50,000 technical jobs. And then lastly, we can create more affordable energy. By moving away from fossil fuels and reduce carbon emissions, we stabilize energy cost for consumers. Thank you.
Thank you. Indonesia, in our opinion, as experts, has abundant renewable energy potential to help minimize the negative effects of climate change, which includes the following. First is geothermal energy. Indonesia is surrounded by the Ring of Fire and boasts the largest geothermal reserves in the world at 23.7 gigawatts. We believe the government can aim to reach a capacity of 2.24 gigawatts of geothermal power by 2025. Second is hydropower. Hydropower is Indonesia's most significant contributor to renewable energy production, providing over 50% of the country's renewable energy generation. Over 800 rivers in Indonesia have the potential to generate hydropower energy with an estimated capacity of 75 gigawatts. And third and lastly, going electric to combat gas emissions, a huge opportunity for Indonesia to push the renewable energy and electrification transition, as they indeed have an abundant nickel source, which at 21 million tons is the largest in the world. Nickel is an essential component in electric vehicles, battery development, and in many solar panel deployments. And Indonesia has leveraged this along with other green minerals such as copper, bauxite to attract investment in manufacturing. That is all from us. We thank you again for this amazing opportunity.
To conclude the key points that we had discussed through the actions by all the actors and potential solutions identified, first is the setting ambitious renewable energy targets, which we are targeting 95% renewable energy by 2030. Aligning with Indonesia government's aim, we will utilize abundant renewable resources, which the geothermal in Indonesia has the largest geothermal reserve in the world, with a potential 3.7 GW. Government aims to reach capacity of 7.24 GW of geothermal power by 2025. We will obligate for every business on its supply chain transparency that requires the companies to disclose detailed information on their energy consumption and emissions, and to monitor the compliance with renewable energy and emissions reduction targets. Established a comprehensive pathway for reducing carbon emissions and increasing renewable energy adoptions. Our discussions today have been insightful and productive. We have heard from diverse range of voices of the vital challenge of reducing carbon emissions and investing in renewable energy. Thank you so much for all the participants towards this forum discussion. May this forum discussion bring up a good impact towards the problem. Thank you.